It is 2 days before a retrospective exhibition by Rabbett Before Horses Strickland opens to the public, and he is nearly done with the installation of his paintings. Rabbett attempted his first oil painting as a young man.
It was a painting of Zeus throwing a thunderbolt. It's about 4 by 4 feet. It was big. And that was it. I forgot who it was by. It was a copy. Botticelli, Velasquez, Peter Paul Rubens, all those guys. I just copied them constantly, early on. Picasso, Dali, Duchamp. At one point I painted on glass. I used to paint a portrait, the front, and then I would do the back side of them. And you could look through it and see two different views. Then I started doing it on canvas, painting both sides. That was kind of interesting. I think I was 19 then. The whole family painted. My mother, her sisters, her brothers, they all painted. And one was a commercial artist up here in Minneapolis. She's just immersed in it, Grew up in it. It was easy. Glad my mother supported it. Right? Kept it going. And when I was young, bought all those materials and kept it going. She was a painter and did a lot of things, kind of like my cousin does. My cousin does lots of different novelty things, with birch bark and stuff. And they lived out here when there was a one-room schoolhouse in Bayfield when they were little, and then they moved down to Minneapolis. Their mother died, and then they went in the Navy and moved out to San Francisco, I guess. But they were all out. The brothers were artists. Everybody was an artist, so it was pretty easy to get into it, I think. Seeing all that. And she was really good. Always putting out. Didn't have a lot of money, but she'd get me supplies and stuff, So that was good. She kept me going. Probably wouldn't have been doing it if it wasn't for her.
Much of Rabbett's artwork weaves the fantastic tales of Ojibwe cultural hero Nanabuju with even more fantastic imagery. People and turtles fly. The sun is captured and moved through the sky, and the wind constantly blows.
In my 20s, I used to copy, I used to do the Greek mythology. And I read a few stories with Nanabuju and, shape-shifting into a rabbit. So I thought, well, that's just going to go right over for a satyr, same thing. So I just started getting into, like, the creation story is a long story. The shut-eye dance is a long story. And there's a lot of material there, and nobody's painting it. And those 13 turtles that are flying around them, they represent the months of the old Earth calendar, 13 months for planting. There's a lot of surrealist qualities in my stuff. I know I got the antlers on the comus, but that's for age, and wisdom. And Nanabuju has those. That's very important to me. He's in even if I do something political, he's in it. He's in every one. Or something that I've made up, like Star Makers over there. He's in it. I make sure he's there, and I make sure that he's known more as an emissary from the Gitchimendum, not a trickster. Because I think he's a planner of a new medicine, a collective consciousness that'll come eventually. It's expressionism. It's a mid-form of expressionism. I mean, it's no reference. I don't look at anything. So when you look at something, you can get a lot of detail. But this is just coming out of me.
Almost all of Rabbett's paintings are allegorical, such as the right to consciousness.
I just wanted to, in my way, show because of the, there's a lack of film footage, like the Holocaust. We don't have that. And there's very few photos. And it kind of, I don't want people to let that take away from the fact that there was a genocide. And that's what that's about. All the women and children are in the middle. And, they got their flags, And then it's a spiritual battle. The eyes of the dead are coming out. What Gitchimendum is bringing them out. Spontaneity is really alive in these things. The first thing I put in is the black. It takes 2 coats of black. So I think I did it for a sense of moving the eye. And I do that with color a lot too. I try to move the eye, and I do it with wind. Everything's moving in a direction. And these are glazes. They're transparent colors on top of another transparent color, so you're looking through a color to see the color. It's kind of weird. It looks like blending, but there's no blending anywhere. It's a nice effect. It still takes time, but it's not mixing. People think are blending together.
It's a packed house when the show opens, and as Rabbett reflects on the last couple of days, he offers a bit of advice to up-and-coming artists.
Do your own thing, don't let, but I copied, up to 28 years old. I think it pays off. It took me 4 years to make the transition to get out of that, to stop erasing, don't erase so much, just let it flow.